Welcome back to the final installment of painting this botanical piece in watercolor. I'm going to dive right in because I have a lot to cover. Here we go. To do this background, I am going to be using wet and wet, so I'm putting some clear water on all of the white paper and then being really careful with my brush to go around the edges of all three of these flowers. During this first part of the process, I was looking at the reference photo and noticing that there's a bit of sky up in this top section. There's a lot more green lower on. There's kind of like this tree line on the top left side. I changed course, but I'm showing you my steps and step 2, 3, 4, etc. of things I change and edit in the process. As the paper is wet, I'm able to drop in color and know that it's going to flow out and move a little bit. The wetter the paint and the wetter the paper, the more movement there will be. So I'm using that rich green gold, which is so fun. It really whooshes out. And it's one of my favorite base green colors to use when I'm going to be doing foliage, just so I get some kind of luminous quality underneath everything. I'm also using Undersea green to get kind of an earthier green, and then this Cascade green I end up really liking. It's kind of a bluey green, and so it's really pretty in contrast to the pinks and peaches of the flowers. Of course, a painting wouldn't be complete if I didn't add a little bit of indigo for my darkest darks. I'm using my brush, wiggling it back and forth to put this tree line in the back. I'm really enjoying putting this green in, and as you'll see, I end up doing the whole thing green. I want to talk to you about kind of my thought process as I'm doing this, but as it's kind of softening and soaking into the paper, I'm also starting to think about how much definition I want for things in this background. Do I want suggestions of leaf shapes like I'm kind of putting in right now, knowing that they will spread and blend and soften because it's wet? Or do I want actual leaves? I didn't really go into this intending to do botanicals for everything here. I kind of wanted this soft background, but I also want it not to look like the three flowers in the foreground are like just cut and paste onto this background. I do want it to look like a cohesive piece. I'm putting some of these fuzzy pink dots to be these kind of like mid-ground flowers. And we'll keep talking about those. I have some stuff to say about them. I want you to pay attention to the bottom right hand corner where I put in those fuzzy leaves, because I go through quite a journey. I'm trying to do some negative painting around those leaves to have them have a little bit more definition. I'm liking putting in the leaves, but again, I'm not 100% sure how much I want them to look super realistic. I don't want it to be kind of a loose floral, because the dahlias are not loose. This isn't really a loose floral painting. You can see I'm adding in some drops of water because I want to use blooms to create a lot of texture. You can also see I didn't really show the process, but I put down salt. I'll talk about that more in just a little bit. Here's where I abandoned ship on having the sky, and I'm adding in more of that Cascade green, which is so beautiful. And I'm like, screw it, this is going to be just a green background that's going to look very organic and have a little bit of detail, but mostly be vibes. So while paint is wet on the page, you can drop in salt, and that will have an effect. Hold on, I'm going to do some research. Be back soon. Okay, hi, I'm back. So here's what I learned. Salt is hygroscopic, which means it absorbs moisture, water, including water with pigment in it. There's more salt. And so what it does is create hundreds of tiny little blooms that end up looking like snowflakes or starburst patterns, or it absorbs that water, which means that it's pushing pigment away as well. So you're left with this kind of starry, snowy starburst pattern, which I will show you in depth in just a little bit. Something that I really enjoyed doing while the paint was still wet was putting darks in, especially in contrast to the center flowers, and letting those pop, and then also adding darker to places like the corners of the painting to really kind of frame it. And so you'll see I just had fun building that up and then dropping in some salt or dropping in some water and having it be really, really textured. I'm adding in more indigo and kind of dark green here. I, it's all about building up layers. You've heard me say this 1,000 times, but it is just true. I can already see some of that salt effect happening, especially in that top section. Salt is super fun to play around with. It looks so technical and so detailed, but it is just this reaction. Chemical reaction? I don't know. Seeing adding dark in those corners again kind of frames it as a little vignette, but I'm still kind of puzzling how I'm going to make it seem like the front and center dahlias are not just glued onto this background. All right, the paper is dry. Look at how much texture we got from the blooms and from the salt. I'm using a big brush just to wipe away. I'm not really using my hand. Well, okay, just kidding. Whatever, dude. Okay. This is so beautiful. And I still feel like the contrast is too much between the flowers and the background. So I'm looking at this. I'm loving all the details I'm seeing. Ugh, look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. You get these weird textures with where the salt remained and then also where it pushed pigment away. It's just so pretty. I'm using my spray bottle just to spritz the paper with water, making sure to cover up the dahlias so that they don't get water on them. I don't need to re-wet the entire page, but there are kind of fuzzy details I want to add in over top this dry layer. So getting a general misting is the goal here. I decided I do want to add in some leaves. Again, not like as detailed as the dahlias, but just enough to kind of feel like there's some middle ground here in between the front and center flowers and the background. So I'm going in with a darker green and then some stems as well to kind of bring the background and the flowers together. Meet in the middle. I'm puzzling here over what to do with that bottom right corner. We're going to go on a journey together, folks. While the leaves are wet, I drop in some pure indigo for shadows. This was one of my favorite stages of painting because I feel like it was solving a problem, and also I just really like how all these greens and blues are mixing. I can't believe how long I've been working on this painting. It's been months. What are we, part 7? 6? 6, 7. I'm so sorry. If you live or work around young people, I just fully triggered your fight or flight by saying 6, 7. If you don't know what that is, don't worry about it. If you want me to explain it, I will. I teach middle school. It is my ever-present companion. All right, Miss Sense, stop talking. I really like that kind of middle left-hand side, those white fuzzy blooms that kind of look like little bell-shaped flowers. that that was unintentional. That's the magic of watercolor, creating like really pretty shapes that I didn't intend, but I get to use to my advantage. If you're wondering how I'm making these leaves, I put up a video of painting florals 2 ways in watercolor. Definitely check that out because I go a little bit more in depth in how I paint leaves. While I'm painting, my cat Charlie is hanging out. You can't hear the ruckus he's making, but he is yelling at me. He wants attention. So we're gonna see what happens. No! I thought we managed to escape any level of nonsense from him, but we see that tiny little speck of green up on my top dahlia where he trudged his little paw over my hard work. But you know what? I took some water, kind of scrubbed a little bit, and then blotted it with my paper towel and added a little bit of pigment. Okay, I had told you that I really struggled with this bottom right corner and what to do with these blooms that look like flowers. So here are all of my attempts compiled into one. Attempt number 1, let's make this look like roses. Nope, scrap that because I spritzed it with water and the roses disappeared. So attempt number 2, let's try some roses again and add some dark detail. Not loving it. So attempt number 3, let's just cover that bad boy up with stems and more stems and leaves and more leaves. And then I panicked and spritzed it with water again and lifted everything I did. So attempt number 4 is, you know what, let's just chuck some paint and gouache in there and kind of build that back up and stick some white gouache in there and just have some fuzzy flowers. And then sprinkled some salt on it. Just throw the whole toolbox at it. And then attempt number 6, let's actually paint some peonies? Question mark. Maybe they'll look realistic. Who knows? I did not go in with a plan, but I did go in with really good intentions. And isn't that what matters? This is actually not what I end up with. So you're going to have to stay tuned to see what I end up doing for that bottom corner. All right, we're adding in more stems. And then what I really love about these blooms and these pinks and peaches up here is they turned out how I wanted that bottom corner to turn out, where I can just kind of make them look like soft flowers and they kind of sink into the background. Another thing I didn't plan on doing, but I was a really brave girl and did it anyway, was adding a super light wash of green to some of the edges of these petals. I felt like they were really floating above the background, and to kind of place them in the scene, I added this little detail to suggest that these really light leaves are kind of like not totally opaque, that they're like translucent and showing some of that green color through them. And it is super subtle, but I do think it makes a difference. I'll show you the before and after in just a second. Okay, here's the before. And here's the after. Super subtle, but you can see some of that translucentness showing through with those petals. So I'm happy with that. We're taking off the tape, and then I'll be completely honest with you. I stopped filming because I was super frustrated with that bottom corner. And then at night, when it wouldn't have been good to film, I finished up that bottom area. So let's take a look at the final product. All right, the moment of truth. Here is the final painting. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the changes I made that I didn't film. As you saw just a little while ago, I really struggled with this area. I didn't know if I wanted to be fuzzy like this area or if I wanted it to be detailed. Couldn't decide. And so I finally decided that what I really wanted was some more defined like stalks and leaves and stems. So that's what I ended up landing on and letting those pink flowers kind of fall into the background. I feel like having darker green down here kind of like weighs it down in the bottom and kind of grounds the whole piece instead of having these three flowers just kind of float. There's a little hair, just kind of float in the middle of the painting. So I am overall happy with that. I'm very happy with like the top part of this painting, especially the different texture I got from the salt and the different blooms I got and how I could turn some of those into flowers and some of them just into pretty shapes. So I'm really happy with this. I think it's beautiful. I haven't done all the math, but I would venture to guess this whole process took between 15 and 20 hours, if I'm including things like dry times and stuff like that. So this was a long process, but it was super fun. I want to show you the whole process from start to finish. So this is, you know, over a dozen hours of work in 30 seconds. Enjoy. If you've been with me for this whole process, thank you. I hope this encouraged you to try something that sounded difficult and just to push yourself a little bit, because at the end of the day, the worst thing that's going to happen is that you put paint to paper, and that can never be a bad thing. So I feel like in watching this, I need some Sarah McLachlan music in the background or something. We've been through a journey together. I will remember you. Will you remember me? Don't let your life pass you by. We've not all the memories. Take it away, Sarah.